Hi, it's the Fourth Art Saturday Hop. I'm Maryanne, and we're going to be doing science. I'd like to thank Meri Atelier for setting this up. She does a lot of work, and we really appreciate it. This month, we're doing science, or whatever you want, but I'm kind of combining the fact that science incorporates recipes. Um, Using this book, which is called the Woman's Home Companion Cookbook, which I think was edited, or the last one was in 1942. It was in my mother's care, and it is so old, and it's interesting because it has things like nutrition, how you set up a table, what parts of a cow. I mean, it was fascinating to me as a kid. And the book has gone from across the United States to California and back. And it's, it's gone, it just has so much stuff. The poor thing has had things dripped on it, coffee spilled on it, and the book is just completely ruined. So I'm pulling out different recipes that I recall. Look at the graphics on this. It's intense. It's so funny. I like the book, but the thing is, we don't use very many recipes out of it. So there's a few I like. So I decided I would take the ones I like, I'd make them, see if I still like them, and then I'd put them into a recipe contraption. You'll see it at the end. Look, see, this is even when I had my kids. I use this. It's intense. All the stuff that's in here is very nostalgic for me. So it's really hard to see this book kind of on its last legs. They do have it in Amazon, as I imagine they have other things, but it's like $100 for this book. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. So let's get on with it, shall we? Here's the recipe, and you can see where my mom had done some adjustments. It's a very well, look at the stains, it was very well used. So you use one recipe and you will end up doing a multitude of things with the recipes. So they have pumpkin pie, but then it tells you other things you can do with it. It just fascinates me. And I used to like reading, so, oh, yeah, pastry. You could make your own pastry. And it tells you how to do it, how you do a double pastry, and how to cook the pastry, all sorts of things. It's great for the Great British Baking Show, I'm just saying. You could find everything in here. And it has adjustments to it. So I'm going to use a store-bought pie crust because I am not messing up my counter that much. This is so simple. It's all the spices that you can think of: cinnamon, cloves, ginger, nutmeg. And you could use allspice, but allspice is just cinnamon and I think nutmeg, or cinnamon and ginger. So this has everything. And I prefer to do it this way rather than to just use allspice. And use fresh pumpkin. You can use fresh pumpkin, which is really easy to do if you have a pumpkin. I've done that too. You just cut it up and boil it. But we have cans of pumpkin because we give to the dogs. And yes, I know I'm not using a wet cup measurement because we don't have one. I don't have one. I have only the dry ones. So I measured out everything already because it's really easy. It just says to combine all the ingredients. So put all the dry together. There it is. And because I have lumps in my brown sugar, I'm just trying to get them out of there because we don't want them to become chunks. Mixer is your friend. And I'm just making sure I'm following everything. The eggs, it tells you should have the eggs beaten. So I think back in the day, they used to just be very careful because, here we go, science, you know, the way you combine things. So I'm just going at it. We're going to just see how it works. It's always worked in the past, just going and putting it together. And it's really simple. The hardest part was putting the darn pastry into the shell.
You can blame this on me.
We'll take a taste.
You didn't tell me to.
See what it tastes like.
How is it?
Good.
All right, so it passes muster, so it's still good. But I have this, I don't know, I have these other things on the back of this recipe that I'm not sure I want to get rid of just yet. So I'm kind of thinking, well, let me just write down this recipe and save it, putting it into this recipe holder that I made. It's a kit, and you put it together and decorate it. And I just think, all right, let's try that. And if I really don't use the things on the back of it, then we'll get rid of it. The thing is that this book has really a lot of memories for me. It was we didn't have a lot, and it was really one of those cool things I like to look at. It had pictures, it talked about what part of the cow you used for certain cuts of beef, and it was just really fascinating to me because as a kid, it was interesting. I liked reading stuff like that. Then eventually it became I had a quest for making a gingerbread house, and I found the recipe in this book. That one, it's a whole other story. If I make the gingerbread house, we'll go through that story. Then, you know, the cookies for Christmas time, I pulled that out. So to me, it really has a lot of memories associated with it. Plus, it's the one thing I have that's actually, I remember as a kid, that was my mother's. And I don't have many things like that. I just find there's some things that we hang on to it because of nostalgia, and this book is really getting torn up pretty badly, but I don't want to lose that. So I'm going to write down the recipe, fold the piece of paper, and I'm going to put it into the envelope part of this kit. And the kit was something I purchased, and it's from May Made It. It's a recipe holder kit. Or I suppose you can just use the waterfall as a place to put pictures, and you could do anything with it actually. But I really liked it for this project. I'll be doing others and testing out things that just to see if I still like the recipe or want to keep it. You know, we don't bake or cook that often in that sense, but it is something fun to do around the holidays. So don't forget to visit my friends. Go into the Show More section. They will have the next person right after, and then you continue on until you come back to me. Please give a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you have already, I want to say thank you so very much. Take care.